Good evening, everyone. This is Donald. Welcome to another edition of Fond Memories. Hope you're all having a great week. Tonight, I'm going to talk about some fond memories of the Golden State Warriors, specifically during this championship era of the Warriors. As we all know, Klay Thompson's officially left the Warriors for the Mavericks, and with that, there is a beginning at the end of an era. It's not quite there yet, as Curry and Draymond are still around, but with Thompson leaving, you know, it brings up some memories of remembering when the Warriors were younger, a little bit more athletic, and more fun to watch than compared to the last couple of seasons where they've been struggling. But for tonight, I wanted to talk about a memory that I recalled around the time when Thompson and Steph Curry and Draymond were playing, probably around the 2010 to 2014 years before they started winning their championships. So if you think back to those years, in the early years before the first modern championship in 2015, the Warriors were a decent team, but playoff bound, but not quite championship. The Warriors, the organization that is, did a lot of promotions. And one of those promotions were giving away a lot of bobbleheads, right? They would give bobbleheads, obviously, during the regular season games, but they would also give some during the preseason games. And I always speculated the reason why the Warriors wanted to give some of the bobbleheads away during the preseason games was just to simply get more fans out there, get more ticket sales, more food sales, whatever the case may be, right? Because, otherwise, most of the time preseason games, the stars aren't usually playing. If they do play, they only play like one quarter. But most of the time, it's otherwise a not particularly interesting game, as most of the time the bench or the people trying to make the team would be the ones playing. So thinking back to those days of the bobbleheads, I got into the collection of bobbleheads. I remember with some of my friends, we were actually had started becoming season ticket holders for the Warriors around that time. Maybe I think it was 2009 or 2010. Can't remember the year that we started. And because of the fact that we were season ticket holders and we were sharing tickets, when we picked tickets, sometimes some of us, I know I did, would pick the games that have some bobbleheads. So I accumulated a big collection of bobbleheads. So that's not really the memory, though, that I want to share. The interesting memory is thinking back to when the Warriors were not that great. I actually went, even though I was, sharing season tickets with my friends, I actually went out online to get Warriors tickets. Obviously they were playing at Oracle at the time. I would get cheap tickets. And when I say cheap, I mean like probably, I want to say $20, $30 for like the upper bowl seats. And why was I getting those cheap tickets? Well, I was getting those cheap tickets so I can get some of the bobbleheads that I wouldn't get from my season tickets, because obviously I couldn't get every game that had the bobbleheads. So I would sometimes go buy some cheap seats, show up at the arena, pick up a bobblehead, and leave. Yes, I did that quite a few times. And accumulated a pretty good collection of bobbleheads. And which I actually put up a display case in the last few years. I also gave away some of my old bobbleheads because they were just taking up too much space. But now, moving forward, it's 2024, the Warriors have left Oracle. They won 4 championships, and the Warriors are obviously a much more popular team these days. And the era of getting cheap tickets are pretty much done, right? And even when the Warriors were still at Oracle, once they started becoming a championship team, it became tougher and tougher to get those cheap seats. The prices went higher and higher. And then obviously now in San Francisco, you're not going to get anything in that $20 range anymore. The cheapest seats you're going to get will probably be like $100, maybe $150, depending, unless you want to wait till like game day and hopefully you can get someone to knock it down a little bit to maybe like $80, $75. So those are some fun times with the bobbleheads. I am admittedly, like I said, not really out looking for any bobbleheads these days. I've gotten a few here and there if I happen to go to a game that has some, or I've gone to some Santa Cruz Warriors games with people where they were giving away stuff. Mainly because, it just takes up a lot of space. But I gotta say, with Klay Thompson leaving, that does end the era of those times of remembering back to picking up bobbleheads. I have many of Klay especially. early days, the later years, even one that they call China clay, and then there's one I have of clay with being on a surfboard, more of a Santa Cruz version of of a bobblehead. So, in any case, that's the memory I wanted to share. That's all I'll share for tonight. There'll probably be more memories coming forward, different things about the Warriors that I will share as the year goes on, the rest of this year goes on. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you next time on another edition of Fond Memories.